Okay, and welcome to the Thrive in Life show. I'm your host, Zaheen Nanji, where we help you thrive so you can become thrivers. And the reason I say that is, hey, it's all about building resilience. And when you build resilience, you want to make it your reflex so that you can thrive in life. And this show brings you the resources from other people who have learned how to thrive in life, who are teaching the same kinds of things that I have in my book and on my website, so that you can continue going on. And here you go. I forgot to turn off my phone. I apologize about that, but that happens. All right. So today we have Debra with us, and you can see her right next to me. And she has a great book. There she goes. She has a great book called GPS Your Life. And there we go. She is showing it right there. And when I saw that book, I thought, what a neat title, GPS Your Life, because we all have GPSs when we drive nowadays. And it shows us exactly the turn to take, and talks to us, and it gives us all these different alerts. And I love the title because the book that she has all these different ways of showing where to turn in life if you're faced with an obstacle. So let me introduce you to Debra. Debra Kasowski is an award-winning author, best-selling author, transformational speaker, blogger, and certified executive coach. She has a heart of a teacher and is certified in appreciative inquiry, which I'm going to ask her about because that is the first time I've heard about it, and emotional intelligence. Her writing has been shown in a variety of online magazines and also some print work and also magazines. Debra Kasowski International helps executive organizations to boost their productivity and profits and performance. Hey, the 3 Ps, there you go. It all starts with people and passion. So make sure you go to her website, debrakasowski.com, and I'll spell that for you, especially for the ones listening on the podcast. It's DebraKasowski.com. So just for those of you listening on the podcast, you know that I record this show on Zoom as a video, and we turn it into a podcast so that you can listen on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And this is episode number 26 that we're on. And let's GPS your life for you, shall we? Debra, come on up and say hi.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today with Zaheen, and I'm ready to help you GPS your best life.
Okay, so let's just start with the basic question. What does GPS stand for?
Okay, GPS stands for Getting Positioned for Success. So Charmaine Hammond is my co-author of that book, and we won an award for it based on helping people get positioned for success. And, people are so busy, sometimes not sure where they are going, and often they don't take time to think about really what they want to do. So this is a perfect book, and we talked about the 3 ways to GPS your life. So it's all about getting clear, making a plan, and learning how to navigate the obstacles that seem to appear.
Oh, okay. So can I ask what the 3 things are? You say there's
so
3 things. Yeah.
The 3 things, again, are getting clear, really being clear on what it is that you want in your life.
Okay.
Making that decision of what that is and making a plan for it.
Okay.
But also being able to know how to navigate obstacles and roadblocks as they arise. Because we know in life things will come up, and they're usually a test as to whether or not you really want what you're after.
Okay. Now, I know someone like me who took a long time to get to where I am because the number one thing was fear. And I know that a lot of people listening and also watching us are asking, yeah, this is great, GPS my life, but I get stuck because it's that fear that keeps on holding me back. And I stuttered into my 20s. Sometimes it still comes up, actually into my 30s. And sometimes it still comes up, but not that much. And fear was the thing that held me back. So how do you explain on how they can turn that fear into something else that can help them get back on track?
Well, that's a great question, Zaheen. And many of us have fears. I have fears, depending on what it is at what time. And we've also passed through many fears that we've been in a place before. And that fear often is generated from uncertainty, situations where maybe we were rejected or put in our place, and then it might be difficult to speak up or even ask for what we want. So what I'd like to do is help people shift that fear into focus, and using that focus and that energy that's behind the fear, because you may have heard, fear, the acronym for fear is actually false evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to do is take that fear and shift it into more of a focus into what it is you're after. Even though you're scared, that discomfort can be used to generate that energy and momentum to help motivate you actually to going after what it is that you want. And that energy creates a synergy so that when those obstacles do come up, you're coming from, and this is the number one thing, is that I want you to come from a solution-focused place.
Amen.
Problem-focused, right? So when people are problem-focused, they're looking at all the reasons why they can't do something. What are the roadblocks? What are the things in their way? But as soon as you start shifting your thinking to solution-focused and you're looking for solutions, you are able to brainstorm new ideas, open up the world to possibility and opportunity. Whereas if you're problem-focused, you can't see the possibilities around you. And part of that is because your brain goes into kind of a fight and flight scenario where your amygdala, the back of your brain, is taking over, and you're not able to really think rationally, and it does impact your decision making. So really going back to solution focus. So that's number one. Number two is going back to your core values. And really going back and thinking about what it is important to me and what are things that I'm not willing to negotiate. And with any path, there's more than one way to get there. People often think it's a straight line from here to there, but it can be loopy, but it can still end up at the same place. So always keep in mind that there's more than one way to get there. But I do have some key questions that I like to use whenever I'm a place of fear and wanting to turn into focus. In order to focus on where you're at, looking at those solutions, we got to look at what is actually working. What are the things that are working? Because we can learn from what's working. Then also evaluating what is not working.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do I need to stop doing? People need to have a stop doing list.
Yeah. So let's just go through that again. So what is working, what is not working, and what's the third one again?
And what do I need to stop doing? Start creating a stop doing list. There are things in your life that are not serving you. So when you take a look and stop and look around you, what is not working? And what should you stop doing that you're putting all this energy in, but you're not getting a return on the investment of time, energy, or resources that you're putting in?
Yeah. And if I can just share a story too, where last fall, so here we're in 2016, so last fall 2015, I was so overwhelmed with working my speaking business, working the wellness center that my husband and I have, and I was doing harm to myself where I found that when I would come to the wellness center, I would work, and I would see clients and I would forget about supper. And it's not that I wasn't hungry. I was hungry, but I would have a quick bar and just keep going. And then by the time I get home at 8 o'clock, I'm just so tired, and I want to spend time with my child. And then it's 9 o'clock, 9:30, and it's time to go to bed. So on December 25th, I got a concussion. I became unconscious and I lost consciousness. And what you say, stop, making a stop list. I really had to change the way I was doing things. And I started to delegate more, and we hired some more people so I could be a bit more free. And that was the thing for me, was stop doing too much and give it away. Hire more and more people. And this is where I find that we, as women entrepreneurs, want to do it all. So please stop, because I know what I went through, and I don't want anyone else to go through that. So listen to what Debra is saying. So Debra, now before the show, you were showing me a vision board.
Yes.
And you teach that to people, and I'm so into that myself. And I know that you've made one. So would you like to show that?
Absolutely. This is my latest one. So it still has, and I'm going to explain a little bit more, but this is part of my vision board here.
So for those of you who are on the podcast, she has, someone who's fit. She has leadership, the Virgin Way, and has Richard Branson on it. And she has Mastermind on it, and all sorts of pictures like holidays, and Europe's on there too.
Yeah, a little bit of Europe too. One of the things, if it's okay, I'm just going to explain a few things as to why they're on here. One of the things here, you'll see a fitness picture, and for those who are listening on the podcast, there's words like live balanced, hot as ever. I do some obstacle races. I like to run stairs. I swim. So I'm quite an active person, but I want to be in the best shape of my life.
Yes.
Richard Branson's on here because one of my bucket list items is I would love to learn from him and go to Necker Island. Not many people know what that is when I tell them, but he has a private island, and he often holds mastermind meetings with people from around the world who are innovators and creators, and I would love to have an opportunity to learn from him. And it's all about taking action, branching out to new markets, get to the heart of true achievement, and helping others do the same thing. So there's a lot of big goals on here, and this is a new vision board, so it is in progress, and I'm really excited to start working toward all of these things.
It looks great. Now, tell me how they really work. Like, I've had people say, yeah, it's all good, but it doesn't work. But then I've had people say, oh my God, like I put, something on there and it came true in just a few months. Mm-hmm. And I know for myself, I have my little cork board on my office wall, and I stick things in there, even the paycheck that I want to get as a speaker in the following year. So it's on there. And it comes true. So tell me how they work and why they work.
So I usually keep this right beside my desk. So when I'm working at my desk, I can look up at it at any time. But one of the things that you have to do is that you don't want it to be a collage of just pretty pictures. And the one thing that Charmaine and I teach is that we don't want people to frame it, because as soon as you frame it, it's almost like you've closed off the options around you. If there's papers off the edges, it's okay. That means your ideas are expanding. So what we'd like to do is take something on that vision board and break it into a SMART goal where it's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. But then you're going to break it into smaller, manageable pieces. And then once you do that, you're going to take each of those things that you've broken down, and you're going to think about, how can I do, we call it the GPS 5, do 5 things toward my goal every day. So, and if you don't want to get intimidated by too big. So if you want, start with 1. But what happens is people make a vision board, they're thinking these positive thoughts, but they're not doing anything to take action to move toward it.
Yeah.
So if you imagine 30 days, if you did 1 action every day for 30 days, you are 30 steps closer to getting closer to that goal. And, if it's meeting people, like even Richard Branson, I am actually 1 person away from, there is a mastermind that goes there that I know somebody who coordinates some of those things, that if I really wanted to, there is a way for me to get there. But what I want to do is I want to be one of those innovative creators that gets invited. So some of the things that I want to put in place is establishing some of the new ideas and excitement that I have going on. I'm launching a podcast next week that I'm really thrilled about. I have a book coming out in the fall. So some of these things that I'm hoping, as I put everything into action, will, trigger some of the people that work with Richard Branson, or, that I will send an email directly to them to make them aware of who I am.
Yeah, that's great. And like I said before, I mean, like the way it's kind of working for you and how you already are close to that, but you want to be invited. So you have, and I love the way you say that you can't just put pictures on there and just look at it and think positive things, but you have to take action. And I love it how you chunk it down into 5 things a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to move towards your goal.
A lot of the clients that have gone through this process, when they go through their vision board, they're like, oh my gosh, this happened for me. And for some of them, it was unconscious that they were working toward it, especially when it's like a new vehicle or a purchase or things like that, because they already had it in their mind. They've already been researching it. But as an example, I had one client a while back. We sat down and we were doing a clarity exercise about what do you want, what do you want, what do you want? And she was writing and writing and writing. She's like, all right, already. I want to go to Jamaica, right? And I asked her how much Jamaica costs. And she said, I have no idea. So, you sit there and think, you don't know how close you are to your goal until you start doing the research. You might not be as far off as you actually think, especially when it's a trip.
Yeah.
Or a purchase of a car or things like that, until you start asking what the numbers are or seeing about different options of how to get there. Like I said, there's more than one way. If you want to do a hostel, if you want to do a 5-star hotel, it all depends on how clear you are about what you want. And then realizing that goal might not be as far away as you think it is.
Yeah. Now, what would you tell someone who is doing exactly what you're telling them to do, but life happens, life throws you curveballs? And they just give up and they lose track. How can they get back on track?
So a great example is if someone lost their job. We can see it as every situation that comes up in life. There's a positive aspect and there's a negative aspect. We could look at it negatively, say, I lost my job, there's no income, what am I going to do? Or we can say, you know what, if you've lost your job and you've always wanted to launch a business or do something different, or go back to school or whatever that might be for you, all of a sudden you have this opportunity handed to you to say, hey, here's the time to do it. So one is shifting your mindset to looking at for the opportunity. 2 is also for staying on track. Start listening to audios and podcasts that keep your mental state, because if you change your state, you'll change your outcomes.
Yes.
If you are able to get yourself in that positive, energized state, whether it be through exercise, because you get all the dopamine receptors going, or when you listen to podcasts like yours, it is very powerful in shifting the mindset. Also, reading. Success Magazine is one of my favorites. That I read Success Magazine monthly. It comes with a CD inside. I put it in my car every time I'm driving somewhere. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I got to stay in my car. I don't want to miss this car. So it's really about getting your mindset into place. But the other thing is that you need to write down your plan. Write down what it is, whether you create a vision board or you're more of someone who likes to have it written out. Once you get it out of your head, because when it's in your head, it's almost like it's trapped. So once you ink it, you start thinking about it more regularly. These are all of a sudden you're going to start thinking, well, these are the things I can do. And of course, creating a vision board can also help, especially if you're visual.
Okay, so what you said was to change your state, because when you change your state, you automatically start to think differently, right? Plan it out, which is so important. And I always say this to everyone, that you have to plan out your year, and then again, chunk just with 2-3 goals, and then chunk it down into manageable times, like 90 days or 6 months, and then work towards that. Otherwise, she's right, that if you do not ink it, it's not there, and your mind cannot see it. So if your mind cannot see it, then how are you going to take action? So you need to ink it. And like she says, if you're more of a visual person, then make a vision board and put it up where you can see it, whether if it's behind your computer or in your kitchen. Do that and look at it, because again, your subconscious mind will start to give you all these messages that, hey, you were working on this, so why don't you start working on that? And and that's how you keep going.
So I just created a 90-day plan the other day. So I have all these things broken down into the next 90 days. I also have a 3-month calendar on the wall that's kind of a family calendar. But the thing is, when you come home from, let's say, work or your business, and you sit down at the end of the day and there's things that you want to do, often what people will sit there and they're like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
But now that I have something, I don't have to think about it.
Yes.
I can sit down and say, today is dedicated to this. Book writing or video, and I have a note for myself. Book writing has to be a minimum of 30 minutes up to a 4-hour block, so that I know that if other things come up, as long as I dedicated that 30 minutes, I am successful, right? So you're creating things to put in place that you don't have to think about it. So there was a talk I heard recently, Zaheen, on about Steve Jobs, why he always wore the same turtleneck and same pants.
Yes, I read that.
Or people eating the exact same breakfast every day.
Yes.
Whether it be clothes or food, the thing is, you don't have to think about it. And that's why they put it in place, because they want to save their energy for where they're most creative and where they can really dive in and get toward their goals.
Yes. When I read that, I'm like, no wonder I take the same salad every lunchtime, because I don't have to think about it and spend energy on it, because I want to spend my energy and my mental focus on something else. I'm like, hallelujah.
Yeah, it makes such a difference, and you don't realize.
Yeah. Okay, so can you believe that we're almost to the end of our show?
Wow.
So I know, and we had so much fun, Debra, and I had a lot of fun having you on, because you gave us great tips on everything from a vision board to how to overcome your fear to how to get to your goals. And hey, if you have any roadblocks, then how to get over that. I mean, she is exactly giving you how a GPS works. Come on. Like, what is better than that? So why don't you put your book up again and tell us where we can get it from?
All right. So GPS Your Best Life, Charting Your Destination and Getting There in Style. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can also just go to my website and click at www.debrakasowski.com, and that was DEBRAKASOWSKI. And you can go there on the side of my page, on the right side, you can give it a click, and it will actually take you to Amazon.
There you go. There you have it. So, Debra, I would like to ask you one last question.
Sure.
What would be the one tip that you could give viewers and the listeners on how to thrive in life? What's the one thing they can start doing today to start thriving in life so that they can become a thriver?
Well, one of the things that I would recommend to be a thriver is that you need to take inspired action daily. Without action, you lose momentum. So when you take action steps, and it could be as small as sending an email to someone, or picking up the phone and talking to someone, or just meeting with someone in person, little things that contribute to the bigger picture. By doing those things, what you're doing is you're creating a momentum, and that is going to keep you motivated toward whatever it is that you want to achieve, and you will be a thriver.
I love that. Inspired action to get towards what you want to go, because it will keep you going. You need the momentum. And if you get any kind of obstacles, she's already given you the tips on what to do. So take advantage of that. Make sure you go to her website and look at what she has to offer and get her book, GPS Your Life. Thank you so much, Debra.
Thank you, Zaheen.
Okay, everyone, go take inspired action and get into thriving your life and become a thriver, if that makes sense. Thriving your life. But there you go. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.